Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to RGL.GG. Season 6 is here. It's Week 1B. Got GlobalClan Fire versus the Jug Dealers. My name's Godfather, and I'm joined by Jarrett on the mic. Dolphins behind the scenes for us tonight. Jarrett, how you doing?
Doing pretty good and getting ready to kick off a new season. It should be really exciting to see where these teams will land. Got a lot on the line, and it's only the very beginning of the season. GlobalClan Fire versus the Jug Dealers. Both two teams that are really trying to make a name for themselves and prove that they're a team that needs to be talked about when you want to talk about teams that are trying to find the playoff spots they so desire. Now, I think it's probably important to go over the rosters a little bit because you hear GlobalClan Fire and you automatically assume it's the players from last season, but it's a little bit different. It is going to be the previous Cronge Realm players. I'll go ahead and start off with them. That is Whelp and Animus on Scout, Ali and Skelly on Soldier, Nomi on Demo, and they have Virgil this time around on Medic.
Absolutely, and the Jug Dealers coming in 1-0 on Scouts. They have Zam and Gungan. Hayes on Roamer Soldier. Paul Dog is their pocket. Demoman's going to be Mustard, Overlord, and Phantom on Medic. So, coming at 1-0 versus the 0-1 GlobalClan. Who do you think's really, the favorite here?
Well, it's really tough to say early on in the season. I don't think we've seen these two teams play each other very much. I mean, obviously viewers haven't, but even in, if you want to try to go log digging, I'm sure there's not going to be very much to find, seeing as these teams only created, a couple weeks ago. So it's really anyone's game because there's still a lot of cohesion to be had. You're still trying to figure everything out. It's the same thing with making sure that you know your opponents very well to try to get ready to counter anything they might try to put out onto the table. You can put out predictions right now if you have an inkling on what you think is going to happen in this match. It's going to be processed that as the match we're playing, if that matters to you for your prediction. I think it's going to be a close one. It might be a little bit of a slow game, actually, depending on how this kind of plays out. But it's really a battle of what do you think is going to prevail? Do you think like a team that's has a lot of newcomers, but they're very, very mechanically gifted, or think they're going to reign supreme, or do you think it's going to be the team that has a little bit more experience on their side will come out on top this time between GCF and Jug Dealers? I kind of feel a little bit like it'll be the Jug Dealers personally, but I don't know. It really could go either way. Maybe like a 4-2 or something.
I'm feeling opposite here, and it's not too often that I'll have a different opinion. So we'll see if your wealth of invite knowledge will hold true in your prediction tonight. But I'm thinking GlobalClan Fire, formerly known as Cronge Realm, they've definitely got some good players on that roster. Maybe a weakness relative to Jug Dealers in the Demo Man position. Mustard Overlord was putting out so much work in the last match, but overall, I'm gonna give this to GlobalClan. I'm thinking we might see a 5-3 out of them.
It's fair. It's fair. I mean, either way, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a close game. I think we've seen either like from last season from this group of people as well as just last night from the Jug Dealers. A lot of these individuals are very, very capable of adapting when they need it to the most. So I think no matter what, we're definitely going to see a lot of back and forth in terms of trying to adjust to whatever's thrown your way and making sure that you do the best you can to come out on top at the end of the day. So it should be really exciting to see.
Absolutely, and these players, I mean, we've already mentioned GlobalClan. A lot of are actually all returning players from the previous season of Invite, whereas on Jug, people that we didn't see play in Season 5. And do you think that the recent Invite experience might outweigh the returning players that we're seeing on Jug?
I mean, that's the big question because you have a wealth of experience with a lot of these Jug Dealer players, but if they're not exactly active, it's going to be something that might play a part especially because we're in week 1. If you as an individual feel like you need a little bit more time to de-rust, just a couple more weeks, then you'll be back in tip-top shape. Well, you don't really got it because week 1 is here and it's time to play your matches. So it's going to be a lot of individual testing to see if they're able to put their knowledge where it matters and try to collect rounds where applicable and try to come out on top.
Absolutely, and as we're getting pretty close to getting started here, again, make sure you get your channel point predictions, and in chat, put your predictions. It should be just under a minute here for us before we get ready. Any final thoughts? Maybe a matchup to be looking out for, Jarrett?
Well, I think the stress is definitely going to be on the soldiers because it is such a scout playground processes. Unless one of the scouts just decides to put the team on his back and carry them, like go 45 and 10 or something, it's really going to be on the soldiers to, put themselves to the test, see if you're able to perform while the scouts are doing so well. Who is going to be able to make sure they're able to put out damage and make sure all their deaths matter when you're going up against as juggernaut of a class that Scout is. But we don't have to wait too much longer to see the action. We are going live into the second cast match of Season 6, the Jug Dealers versus GlobalClan Fire. Go ahead and take it away.
I will do so. We'll get right into it. I did hear that, Jug pun you made there. Little bit of action happening on this mid. PaulDog getting fairly weak. Here comes Hayes jumping across, getting a rocket onto Virgil. A little rotation. Here comes Skelly jumping in, looking for Phantom. Gets one rocket in. PaulDog actually kills himself. Ali will die, as does Hayes. Getting good damage on both meds across the board here, but 3 down for the side of the Jug Dealers. Not looking too good as Mustard gets very weak, and it will be found by Whelp in the end. So that will be a 1 mid fight for the side of GlobalClan Fire, losing just their soldiers. But Med gets away with his life on the side of the Jug Dealers.
Yeah, Phantom had a nice surf, but he surfed so far away from the rest of his teammates, he was basically almost out of mid. And if you don't have your medic and you're the later end of that mid fight, it's going to be really rough to keep your team alive. And that's what we saw, them dropping like flies enough until they had to completely leave and end up on their last. Phantom was able to live though, so they do have the Uber to save them and make sure they're able to hold this for at least a little bit longer and have an opportunity to potentially push out if things end up going their way. Building up a gun right now, Zam is on the center of the point to try to prevent any bombs from getting too deep, as we do see some one initiation happening from the blue team. Both going and trying to get onto Gungan as well as Ali, but very weak, and they're both going to fall. No kills collected, but Hayes not wasting any time immediately with a counterattack off of the calls that his teammates are fighting people blind, but he also is not able to find anything. Virgil takes a little bit of spam, but nothing that the pill bottle will not be able to help with. So at the end of the day, nothing really happens. It does not appear that GlobalClan Fire are opting for any off classes. They've got the information on how the red team is holding. Now they just have to use it to the best of their ability to try to break things a little bit better, and a Doman kill is definitely something that you can use to continue to break into this last.
Yeah, they're going to start really taking a lot of space here. Zam getting fairly weak, down to 12 health actually on Engineer. Almost losing 2 there was the side of the Jug Dealers. Now very aggressive, but Nomi's going to get found, as is 12. PaulDog going very big
crumble
right now. Hayes will come back and find one more. Skelly's so weak, looking to get a little bit of heals, but yes, as you mentioned, the crumble and the Jug Dealer able to just run right back in, find some frags, and back out to mid is the side of GlobalClan Fire.
Yeah, not going to be too pretty if you're inside each other's model. So we've got 2 people rolling out and 1 still dead. That is going to prompt the red team to push. Blue has their Uber though, so they are able to use it if they so desire. Able to get the force out of Phantom and followed by an Uber from Virgil to save Skelly. There's a little bit of scuffle over on the side. Hayes is going to be able to help take one down with the help of Gungan before he eventually falls. The last man standing is making a distraction, but the rest of the red team trying to flend him, but the blue respawners have come in. A lot of kills for the side of the blue team as the red team have to back up after the immediate death of Gungan and Mustard on their initial go in. PaulDog, nice jump onto Skelly, able to catch him out before he's able to jump in. So that's an extra frag to make things a little bit easier, but it is still ultimately a 4v3 that the red team do not want to take. They're going to cut their losses and put themselves back on last. So it seems after all has transpired, it's pretty much a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, we're right back where we started just a moment ago. The only difference being Uber's not in play quite yet. That exchange, just the tail end of it, but able to find some frags. The side of GlobalClan was, and that really just opened up the rest of things. A little bit of a steamroll forward, but as mentioned, we're going to sit down, be sitting on this second point just a little while longer. We're at 99%. Both meds now have, and we'll be looking for likely another sack play. Based on what we saw last time, I'd guess it's just going to be another Soldier Scout. Looks like Nomi wants to peek in through one shutter, just looking to get some spam and Animus in a lobby. Looking at the Jug Dealers right now, they're holding this pretty aggressively, and it's not going to go well for them. Gungan's going to go down, the gun will fall as well, and now it looks like this left side is going to be the area to push, with Virgil getting pretty close to dying there to a trap, but instead Animus will be the one to fall up 3 health, getting out, and just GlobalClan can't seem to find the exact moment to get in here.
Yeah, they had a lot of. It seemed to be the pattern where they find something really good for them, able to get a kill that will allow them to open things up a little bit better, and they try to actually get through the door, and they just pick the wrong one and end up losing people of their own. This time it wasn't as bad as previous. They didn't lose 3 people in lobby this time, just, you know, dropped 1 scout in 1, and I think Welp got sent to 3 HP as well, but once again, we're seeing a pattern. They're able to get demos, which is really nice for them, but now entering lobby, you have to be careful. They're not wasting any time, though, immediately going in, but dropping the scout. No, the pattern continues. The opening is going to be a little bit wasted. And Phantom doesn't even need to use up until maybe even now, depending on if the scout calls it, but it seems like they're just fine with taking this a little bit slower off the fact there's no demo on the field. Have to be careful. Ali's in 2, trying to contest Zam a little bit, gonna commit. Hayes gonna go back for him, make sure that soldier is cleaned up, but the Uber still has not been forced from the side of Phantom. Able to take 2 very, very cleanly, so the only big threat here is the fact that Welp is hiding on Sniper. He's behind the rock, not quite showing himself too much, but they are eventually able to spot him, so Phantom playing very safe, and a lot of spam going on the side of the blue team. Welp dropped to 40 HP. Have to be careful. Animus is gonna fall. Mustard a little bit weak, but gonna be able to get aired up once again. Piped. Extremely weak players for the side of red, but they're continuing to arrow up and note this Uber is able to save them. Jumping immediately through the choke. Mustard in the skybox, trying to work his way onto Virgil. Pop.
Virgil, no!
Is going to fall. No scout speed there. Left in the dust as the scout previously had died and had 1 off-classing on Sniper. Nomi botting up a little bit more than you can chew. Almost dies. 15 HP. Able to barely get out with his life, but this is a giant ad either way for Phantom to work with, despite not collecting that demo kill. Getting Virgil there in that Uber was monumental.
Absolutely. Able to jump in behind, get the pressure in, and just nowhere for Virgil to run. Can't do anything about that. Here's the Uber coming in onto the demo, getting good pressure onto Animus. Will pick up that frag. Now looking to get the bait onto the point. Sentry gun goes down. Ali jumps forward, but he gets taken out by Zam. And now Welp taking a little bit of a 1v1 on the flank. He'll get taken down. Now it's just Skelly looking to deny this point, but there's so much damage going towards him. Virgil now in the spawn door. Can't do anything, and Jug Dealers are going to go up 1-0. Looks like I'm eating some of my words here.
That's a really unfortunate surf coming from Nomi in his defense. He had to surf towards 2 and ended up looping around into lobby, unable to protect the point at all and help his team defending last. And that made it really easy for the Jug Dealers to go ahead and take their first round of the game. But we're going into another mid-fight where anything can really happen. Everything's reset and the pace is going to play a little bit differently. Soldiers doing fast bombs, trying to work their way in to get a little bit damage. I'm not committing their lives though. Mustard going to get weak, but going to get arrowed up to be a-okay in this mid-fight, at least for now. Hayes going to get a little weak, trying to get bombed by Ali, but Ali is going to fall, denied by a scout immediately. Mustard is going to fall as well, though, off the damage he's taken. Phantom, a little bit weak as well. Have to be very careful, but the same is going to be said for Virgil, who will eventually fall. So red team has a medic advantage despite the player disadvantage. Have to be very careful. Zam's off on his own, is going to die. Only 2 players left alive versus the 3 on the side of GlobalClan. Fire stuck in a corner trying to find a way out, but it's too little, too late. There's no escape, and they will fall.
So on that mid-fight, the side of the Jug Dealers were able to rotate around, get some players over on top of point, take that high ground and collapse onto Virgil, but then the DM was too much from the side of GlobalClan Fire, and even without a medic, we're just able to 3v2 pick up the frags, find that very late med death. It's only going to be about 20% ad here for Virgil, but we'll see if GlobalClan Fire is able to do anything with it as they get right to building. And the Phantom will be doing the same on their second. Just going to be a little bit of a settling down here on both sides. We do have Zam on Sniper, though. Him being able to find a pick will be crucial for this Jug hold.
Yeah, it's going to really force GlobalClan to go ahead and use the Uber very, very aggressively and quick if they want to use it at all because of the Sniper. Most of the time, if you have an ad this small, it can be said that you... it could look like they're going to go ahead and jump in, immediately going in, sending nobody straight into Phantom, able to make sure every shot hits and collect that kill. Mustard also is not able to find a path to escape, has to find a new one, but that will just lead to his death. And Zam falling as well, the Sniper staying in too long. Ali will die for it, so they sacrificed a little, but it is enough for them to make sure that Virgil is alive. Well, just going straight on to last as well and making sure that there's no defense set up whatsoever. The round immediately collected, and that was quite the push from GlobalClan Fire. It honestly didn't even seem like the Jug Dealers were very much set up.
Yeah, GlobalClan was able to take a lot of momentum there, keep it going, and as you mentioned, the Scout already getting in onto last, and at that point, basically sealing the fate of that round. Beautiful demo bomb in that fight to pick up the med kill, and now we're in on mid number 3. 1-1 is the score. Waiting to see how things develop. Gungan looks like he's just spotting right now. Ali gonna jump up, take some high ground. He's countering onto the other side. looks like blue team is happy to play with their pack right now. Ali getting behind, he's in choke, will get picked up by Gungan, and Skelly very weak on the same side. Paul Dog is actually going to die though, I believe he just cratered. Hayes maybe getting caught out here by Welp, who gets actually found by Gungan. Now Skelly going deep, will he be able to pick up this last frag onto Zem? He won't, will die as Zam gets healed up. Nomi might be in trouble here as Hayes is looking to chase him down. Gungan in pursuit as well, helping to support this. Animus going to exchange a little bit of spam and heals from the med. Will keep the Demo Man alive, but losing Animus there, it's going to be hard to keep enough pressure onto the second point. So I'm guessing GlobalClan maybe looking for an exchange, if anything. And that's exactly what we will have on the second point. Med got jumped up into the air a little bit there, as well will die as a result. It's not going to be looking good for the side of GlobalClan. They have to hightail it out to last year, Jarrett.
Yeah, mechanical issues there in the middle of that Uber there. It was already kind of sketchy because they lost all their positioning and they were able to kind of make it work until they lost their scout. So one player down off Uber right now. Red team trying to drive through 5 off the player advantage, immediately working the way in. Sniper is in spawn, posing a threat to Phantom, not allowed to get in very much. Paul Dog is going to fall on the opposite side of the map, although Zam is in Nest, creating a distraction for the team, trying to get into Virgil. Very weak health, 12 HP, and will eventually die. So despite sacrificing 3, they are able to collect the medic. It's going to be difficult for them to hold 2 long term, but oh, nice rocket onto Will. Maybe that'll change Cast's curse, but no. They're going to go ahead, play it safe, back up. They know they have an advantage to work, so they're just going to sit and play it. They're going to make sure they get their Uber and push into 2 with their entire team.
Yeah, he's already taking a little bit of space here. That massive ad, it's going to be 75% or even more here. Paul Dog jumping forward, but gets absolutely deleted by Ali. Help from Animus there. Now Nomi actually gets picked up by Hayes in rollout. Not what you want to see, especially as now Animus will fall to Buster Overlord. He's Skelly looking for the med kill, if anything, but only able to find 1 rocket. Sam will find the kill onto him. So 3 down for the last hold, and we have the engineer up. Here comes the push coming in. Uber finally gets popped out. Ali jumping around. Not too much point time quite yet because of this Uber, but absolutely deleting this Ali. Sam able to just walk up and get a nice body shot. Here come the spawners from the side of GlobalClan Fire, doing their best to deny point, but the DM is just not in their favor. They don't have the positioning nor the damage right now, it seems, and Scaling will get picked up as well. Now here comes the collapse. Just 2 alive from the side of GlobalClan. Nomi won't be there in time, it seems, and 2-1 will be the score, with 18 minutes remaining in this half.
And big miscommunication on what the plan was going to be with their second defense. Losing 3? You're sending half your team to your death for what? It's just going to mean you can't hold last, and that's what we saw. It was very difficult for them to actually make sure that Phantom was using through that door, and they lost the round because of it. But things reset. New mid-fight, new round, new them. So it's going to be interesting to see if the pace changes and if the ring around the rosy stops or continues.
We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Hayes. Similar movement here as both teams going to play their pack. Zam will be the first to die on this mid. Skelly fairly weak on the other side of the aisle. Now rotating around almost in opponent's team's chokes, and a little bit of a stutter there, but I believe it's just my internet. Well, will get found. Ali now fairly weak. Hayes dying, but not before. Med's very weak on both sides. Virgil will be getting out, it seems. And looks like Jug should have this mid fight.
Yeah, they have a lot of positioning right now, but you have to keep in mind they are on the opposing sides of choke. They have to push and fight this, otherwise they will get sandwiched. Virgil, a little bit passive because they were weak, but have to be careful because Zam is behind it. It seems the collapse is happening immediately, stuffing the choke, and they are able to collect all of the kills there, made sure that they were not able to let them escape in any capacity, and now they have a full advantage to push onto 2. Ali and Welp, last players left alive. Ali poking around in ITF, be careful. Gungan is trying to find him, is able to collect that frag. So a little bit of a late death. He might respawn just in time for the push that actually happens, but either way, Welp has been setting up a sentry this entire time, so they have their defense set up in that regard, but it seems like the Uber is going to go ahead and go out very, very soon here.
Yeah, they are taking all this ground positioning. Gungan gets weak enough to get that Uber forced out. Gun went down beforehand, though. Here's pressure onto point. Skelly doing his best to jump in. Virgil dies somehow. I didn't even see where that was. 3 go down, collapsing onto the point. Only able to pick up 2 now. No soldiers alive for the side of the drug dealers. Well, so weak. It's just Nomi alive, and this is not looking good. Looks like we will see a 3-1 after a very fast round from the drug dealers there.
Yeah, that was very nice in making sure they're able to collect as many kills as possible. It seems like the Jug Dealers are doing a pretty good job in making sure that whenever they're entering last, they're able to make sure that they're focus fighting the right targets to make sure people fall and are able to collect more than just ground, but kills with their Uber. And it's definitely showing with their 3-1 lead right now.
Absolutely. They are doing some work so far. We can likely pull up some logs as we have now reached the halftime. Shout out to Dolphin for sending me that link so I don't have to go find it. Jarrett, what are you seeing in these?
Well, definitely want to look at the damage. We said before, it's going to be looking at the soldiers unless, a scout decides to put the team on their back and carry. And it kind of looks like that's what we might be seeing. Gungan almost 400 DPM, not quite, but getting up there with a nice 16-4 KD. He is definitely putting in a lot of work for his team, and it is a 100% showing.
Yeah, these logs are just not looking good for the side of GlobalClan Fire. 6 med deaths from Virgil right now compared to Phantoms 2 is something that I'd noticed in these last couple of rounds. The side of the Jug Dealer is able to capitalize on any med death and really keep the pressure on, keep the steamroll going in very fast rounds. So a little bit of a slowdown might be in order for the side of GlobalClan, in my opinion. They need to take this match at their own pace and really set the tone for this second half, especially down 3-1, not a position you want to be in. So I guess that's my take on it. Anything else you're noticing here?
Well, I guess one thing to note is because I thought the soldiers were going to be the thing to look at, I think it's important to look at them. I think it's definitely no surprise to see Hayes and Paul Dog do pretty well. I mean, Process can be a kind of hard soldier map to play sometimes. It can be either there's no good spot to land, or maybe there's a good spot to land, but you don't really it's either you're safe or you do damage. Sometimes there's not really in between, so it can be really rough sometimes to really find the perfect spot where you can be the most effective as you possibly can. But it definitely seems like that they're able to do that. Their deaths aren't extremely high. It's similar to Mustard, and it's not that much higher than their scouts, as well as them putting out a pretty sizable amount of damage for their team, making sure they're catching up with the rest of their teammates. So definitely a good job done by them to make sure they're in the place they are now.
Absolutely. It looks like we should be getting fairly close to readying up. The side of GlobalClan have done so. Had Phantom disconnect and reconnect, so hopefully no internet issues there. But we have now had the ready up for the second half of GlobalClan Fire versus the Jug Dealers in this Week 1B matchup. Jarrett, I'm going to let you take us through this mid.
Alright, well, both teams had the half to kind of change whatever they felt like was necessary, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this mid-fight, and if anything kind of changes immediately. Soldier going fast on the Mustard, but not quite committing. Ally taking a little bit of damage, going to get healed up by the pill bottle. Spam continue to rain across the map. Zan trying to take the high ground, but Skelly trying to take it right back from him. Was going to have to sacrifice a little bit of his health, though, down to 15 HP, and is going to get jumped eventually by the enemy team, but Hayes is going to actually fall from that. They're end up taking high ground and looping around the side, but finally, Paul Dog jumping in, able to collect Skelly. Going to die for it, though, so many people dead on the side of the Jug Dudes. It seems like GlobalClan Fire has figured out the formula, at least for now, to make sure that mid goes in their favor.
Absolutely, and they really need to capitalize quickly on these rounds. Ali going to jump forward, try to get some damage in one, just maybe a second too slow there, and unable to really catch anyone in the shutter. Gungan looks like he's going to be setting up this gun on the left side. As the second cap does come through, if GlobalClan Fire goes for a sack and are successful in getting a force here, it is almost certain they'll be able to convert a round. But we might just be seeing an exchange. Virgil getting into lobby. Animus spotting a very aggressive positioning from Paul Dog. Going to be calling that out, and the spam coming forward to from the side of GlobalClan as a response. Looks like things are going to be a little bit slower than I was hoping, as GlobalClan just looking for an opening, Jarrett.
Yeah, one thing you gotta remember, these are the moments where GlobalClan was able to find a pick, but then weren't able to do anything off of the pick. So they have to be very careful. I'm sure that's something they might have talked about in the halftime, making sure that once they're in a good position, they do whatever they can to keep themselves in that position. Alley Bomb, single sack is not going to work out this time. Curious to see if he's going to end up, coming up anything, as it doesn't seem like anything's going back to spawn to switch off to any off classes. And not, he's staying on Soldier. It does not feel like they want to do off classes to break into this hold respectable enough, but they are going to have to make sure that this gun goes down. It's definitely going to do a lot of damage to them if they try to jump through any of these doors to try to force Phantom. They've done it before, and I think last time they did it, they got the gun and Gun, which is, you know, a pretty nice kill, especially since he's the engineer. But you gotta have to do a little bit more, unlike last time, if you want to be able to actually convert the round. Working the way into the lobby, trying to see if there's anyone that can be picked holding these doors. Mustard is very aggressive, has died in this position before, but will not this time. Animus getting piped down to 2 HP, has to back up for his medic, gonna reset just a little bit, make sure he's buffed up so that they can have an honest attempt at sending buff players towards the red team to try to kill them. Mustard taking some damage, Skelly is as well, so, you know, a little bit of damage back and forth, trying to find an opening, the crack in the armor that the red team is presenting to them. It's probably somewhere, they just need to find it. Continuing to work their way into lobby, trying to figure out what is the option.
I'm seeing a lack of scouts on the side of the Jug Dealers, and that might end up being the opening they're looking for. Also finding that gun kill. Ali jumps forward, but kind of gets stuffed, hits the ceiling, will die for it. Now, Skelly and Animus both got fairly weak, have to go back for some heals. Sniper, Zam has swapped off of Sniper, back onto Scout. Unable to really get a pick there, and now with it called out, definitely won't be able to find anything major. So opting back to the traditional classes. This gun sitting on the point so far has been proving useful, able to get a good stuff in there a moment ago, but would you rather be seeing a different off-class, or is the engineer the right play here?
I think this gun is fine, and it pretty much covers against any severe threat, spare a sniper peeking one. Because, look, Wolf got through one, sure, but he can't go past that wall. He left. He knew that if he rushed anyone, he would just die. That's really the only thing that was severely... Oh, yeah, Hayes. Tried to go for a sack. It didn't really work out. A sniper one is the only thing that gun can't stop against, and so far GlobalClan Fire do not want to run sniper. They've just been doing cookie cutter the entire time, and they've been getting the gun down, which is fine, but they just aren't able to find the opening after they get the gun. And I think it's partly because they're getting the gun down and then just sacking straight from the door that they were spamming from, which is, people are gonna hear that the gun is going down, rotate that door, and then stuff it. So it makes sense that their initiation is not finding a whole lot of success because there's no rotation. But Welp on sniper in one. This is the
exactly what you said.
Yep. So Phantom is going to respond appropriately, make sure that the sniper in one can't see anything even if he tried. Although the fact that now Phantom has to dance around his own last to make sure he's dodging sightlines, this Welp rotation could be very strong. For example, if he works his way over to 5 very quickly and is not spotted in any capacity, it could do very, very large amounts of damage to Phantoms just standing out in the open on this point. But Phantom, smartly rotating back to the dispenser, playing a little bit of hopscotch going back and forth. Welp is going to 5, able to get a little bit of shot onto Hayes, but he's going to be A-okay, make sure he's resupping. But now this sniper threat is something new that the Jug Dealers are going to have to try to deal with long term. You can't just let Welp take shots forever. Eventually, push comes to shove, you're going to have to do something.
Looks like Mustard Overlord is looking to spam him out a bit, successfully so, as Welp will have to rotate around, getting below 60 health there for a moment. Now getting some heals along the way to wherever he decides to go next. Looks like he's going to be down by 1 once again. Has that shutter open. Demo might have just spotted him out there. Here's the counter sniper actually in play from Zam, and I think we'll be seeing a bit of a Highlander fight here as the sniper v sniper will proceed kind of separately from the rest of the fight. Nomi holding that shutter door, peeking forward. Looks like Zam's going to rotate around though. Really
I think he was stuck in the corner a little bit. I was afraid of getting body shot, but no shot was taken. He's going to live to fight another day, and seems like the SPS is going to be very strong for now, but immediately 2 kills, 1 onto a soldier, 1 onto a scout, and that is an unintentional 2-man, 3-man immediately coming on the board. That is not what you want to see for a GlobalClan Fire fan, and that is going to immediately spark their retreat. Except Ali. Ali's going in, but 2 scouts are at last. They both were swapping off their off classes, which means that push is immediately stuffed. Soldier down for the side of GlobalClan Fire, and now I guess even Ubers, that's technically like a sack, like 5v6. Probably going to see maybe a counter. If anything, Hayes is on the move in IT to see what he can see, but I don't think he wants to go because it's such a late death for him if he were to actually go. So makes sense, going to even out and going to continue to be a stalemate. It'll just be on mid and 2 this time rather than 2 and last.
Yeah, really lucky for the side of GlobalClan fans that they didn't end up losing a bit more there to the Jug Dealers. They're going to be holding forward in choke, have a good setup on mid, obviously. Looks like now rotating around into sewer, looking for a different angle, perhaps, to try to get forward. Here comes the soldier jumping, going very deep, actually. He gets some damage onto Phantom, who's now able to stand up on the high ground, but eventually will get and drop back down. Hayes on the counter will get picked up by Animus. So one soldier down for each side. Virgil and the combo happy to sit over here in sewer though, as they continue to try to just find an opening, poking and prodding, as it's just pocket Nomi as hard as you can to see if you can get some spam in.
No off classes this time around, no sniper in sewer, so it makes sense that things are playing a little bit slow in terms of the red team not getting too aggressive, just a little bit, send a soldier to go harass them, but Paul Dog eating some spam on his way out, got a little bit too low, and that's going to be the kill. The GlobalClan Fire wants to rush in and maybe take an exchange. Running it with Animus, able to get gunning before the Uber even comes off Phantom. Eventually have to use, so 2 down, 3 down. Hayes actually going to die in IT, overextending a little bit, so with 3 players down, the red team have to scurry out into 1, but getting chased into, you have to be careful. Skelly trying to poke around, but making sure he doesn't take any damage, and they're being smart about this. They're making sure that they expect a 4 or 5 push. They're rotating on the left side. Yeah, meeting them. Michelle's sort of bomb in from the blue team, trying to create some space and collect some kills on the red players, although they're dropping so many players. The focus fire is not there. The soldier double bomb on one side of the map while the team is pushing on the other, and there's just no coordination. The map is too wide for that kind of stuff, so they only collect 1 kill. So at the end of the day, biting off more than you can chew, and back to mid you go. Jug Dealers retain 2 and now in a position where they can poke around on mid because Nomi is not quite there.
Yeah, Nomi being a delayed spawner slightly there is very crucial. Stacking the cap on second to achieve that. Here's a soldier jumping in. Gonna get Skelly fairly weak. Now a lot weaker actually. He'll finally go down. Monster Overlord will find the frag. Here's Ali jumping to try to get Hayes. Will be successful in doing that, but 3 down for the side of GlobalClan Fire. They're getting bullied onto their second. It looks like Jug Dealers are out for more as they continue to work their way forward. Getting good damage onto this demo. Nomi in the air. It looks like Nomi's gonna fall now to Gungan on a 4K. It's just Animus and Virgil and a few spawners in a moment to try to hold on to this last point.
That was an extremely unfortunate surf into the enemy team to your death, and now there are no stickies on any of these doors. They're free to poke and prod them as they wish, but have to be careful about the potential Uber exchange that might happen at these doors. They're not poking too hard though. It doesn't seem like Virgil and friends want to actually pull the trigger and use quite yet aggressively into them, but poking through 5, Zam trying to create space. A lot of damage onto the blue soldiers, both very weak. So many players in the red health, but Zam is going to be the one to fall instead. Hayes weak as well, and it seems like that is going to be it when it comes to the lobby aggression. They cut their losses back out onto 2 and be happy with the fact that they own the enemy 2 in the first place. It seems like things are going to start to slow down on the last 2 again, except the script is flipped a little bit, and now GlobalClan Fire taking their turn holding last.
And I'm seeing immediately Zam coming up sniper. Jug Dealers want to have the ability to just break this if possible. 1 pick would be enough likely for them to start working their way forward. Looks like Zam wants to peek up these stairs, watching lobby, looking for Nomi on the left side, or Skelly takes a shot, misses it. Just a question of whether or not we'll see the SVS come out in a moment. Now rotating around to 5 will be the sniper. Getting a lot of spam though, so weak, down to 16 health. We'll find the heals from Phantom. And they'll continue just sitting here in lobby. Gun is up on point, courtesy of Whelp. Playing engineer here for this hold. And just waiting to see. Oh, there you go. Skelly found by the sniper. Sam hitting a nice headshot there. Now Hayes is in rollout right now, getting good spam onto the gun. Getting so weak right now. Will find Whelp's gun and almost got Whelp as well. He'll be swapping. Actually, no, he stays in on engineer. The Uber is forced out, and we'll have the exchange in lobby. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing too many kills, but look, Paul Dog sitting in 1 right here. The last second arrow from Virgil, able to pick up a frag. Thought we might be seeing a backup attempt. Hayes and Whelp are going to trade, I believe. And second cap will eventually go back to the side of GlobalClan Fire.
You have to be careful though. They know there's no demo on the field, so the red team definitely want to play this fast. They know that the respawners aren't quite in their favor, so it can't last forever, but if they play this fast enough, they think they have a chance. 44 for now, have to win this fight very convincingly and make sure that GlobalClan lead before the respawners get through, and they are able to do that with their demo man advantage. So very good by them to play that at a very fast pace to make sure that they played their advantage while it still existed. So they're not sitting at mid, back on their own too after all those lobby events transpired, trying to once again break into the GlobalClan fire last. Ali getting really weak, 9 HP, has to be careful, trying to get initiated on, but is going to be able to back spawn. Hayes very close to spawn, gonna get shot a little bit, trying to jump his way on into Virgil, gonna surf a little bit. Zam's trying to, the 1-2, Zam walked in the door right where Virgil surfed to, and that is not something you can milk through. Through two players, that is very unfortunate for the side of GlobalClan Fire. Although the aggression just on to Phantom, not able to quite find too much except Mustard, which, you know, you'll take that for one. That's not too bad. Have to be careful about this Phantom Uber, though. They have their respawners and they're ready to go 5v5. Despite having a Demo Man, this is still very much playable for them. They are in the choke, trying to make some saves. Soldiers jumping through, getting into grass, and the GlobalClan Fire, they're so passive. They're very afraid right now, but Ali, he's not afraid. Trying to bomb in, working away on Phantom. Phantom knows better. He is all the way by Al-Qaeda, not able to find anything Ali, so that is one failed sack attempt for them, as Phantom still holding the Uber, working his way towards lobby, trying to do the best they can to make sure this lead is bigger for their side. Not too much longer until Virgil has an Uber of their own, so they have to play this fast, but it seems like they're definitely making an attempt right now. Uber coming in, immediately onto the gun, Mustard getting a little bit weak, able to get flashed up though. No stickies cleared off the point quite yet, so not a whole lot of aggression for the side of blue team to push until they actually get their Uber, running towards 5, trying to catch up these players, gonna cut their losses and go for all players in Nest instead, and that's so many players that are in Nest, able to collect 3, and with 3 players dead, that's a little bit too much for the Jug Dealers to handle. GlobalClan Fire successfully hold their last and are working towards 2 and maybe even mid, depending if they want to dry or not.
Yeah, the question is, with 16 minutes remaining and not a point on the board this round, it's up to GlobalClan to start turning up the heat and taking some rounds. Down 3-1 at the moment. Not a good place to be as the time continues to trickle down. It looks like they aren't going to go for it, especially, well, a risky play considering Jug will definitely have an ad here, popping first and finishing their Uber first. They now have this Uber showing the aggressive positioning as well. Here comes Mustard, they're going to pop in onto him, looking for Virgil, who might get caught again, completely isolated as Virgil, and Bulldog has an easy time picking up that frag. 2 did go down from the side of the Jug Dealers, now the collapse is in, Bulldog will get caught as well. The question is, can they find Phantom, who is sitting in choke right now? Bwelp looking to get behind, Gungan is pocketing this medic as best he can. Bwelp looking for the frag, can he find Gungan first? Gets the pack, it's just, well, it doesn't look like he'll be able to get it though.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough fighting a medic, fighting a demo, or fighting a scout that has a medic's heal. So that's gonna be a nice play coming out of Jug Dealers, and Nomi. Well, have to be careful. Both get a little bit low. Drop to 11 HP. Is Nomi? He's able to cut the corner. 2 HP. Able to live 4 now, but it's definitely gonna not bode well for the longevity of the second hold. Falling from Gungan, going through the choke, collecting that kill with no demo for the side of GlobalClan Fire. It's gonna be really rough for them to hold on to this point. They're out here though. They're still trying to put some damage, but eventually cut their losses. Recognize when it's a little bit too tough for them to beat. We're gonna go ahead and go back to last. This whole thing that transpired from the red Uber, just cutting off Virgil, sacrificing Mustard, jumping behind them, was very strong, and now we're about to see another Uber coming from them right now.
Yeah, only 65% for the side of GlobalClan as the Uber is popped out, holding down this entire right side of the map. Oh, so much point presence right now. 12 has to touch, Skilly collapsing in. 3 go down from this into the Jug Dealers. This is turning out very well so far for the side of GlobalClan, but they have to be careful. Can't abandon this point, especially with the scout behind in heaven. Trying to get down in on this point is Zam, but he will get picked up instead. Gungan and Phantom on grass right now, trying to get out through choke in a moment. Looks like Animus is going to just sit on the cap as Mustard Lord is back, as Jug Dealers are all getting their spawns in. Full Uber though for GlobalClan.
Yep, free second, looking to use their Uber in the mid, or maybe even not use it at all, but no. Immediately, demo bomb in, just trying to get on any players you can. Mustard a little bit forward, gonna be able to juggle them a little bit, but not quite enough. Skelly actually getting really greedy, going into sewer, getting killed by Zam, and it seems like a little bit of a crumble. You do not want to trade 2 for 2 with Uber at, especially with one of them being one of your scouts, so that does not bode well for the longevity of GlobalClan Fire fighting for this midpoint, especially Phantom only 10% away from having an Uber of their own, and it might even be another immediate jump in. They're pausing at choke. No, okay, Ali's behind, that's why they're slowing down. Thought they might just immediately jump in and try to catch up Virgil, but no, that's why they were slowing down, so makes sense. Ultimately, pretty much a free second. Everyone on GlobalClan Fire is pretty much already out to last, so it's not going to be too much longer till we see them pick a door and try to barrel through to collect another round of the board. Seems like lobby is going to be the choice this time, which is fair. That's a pretty standard choice, but there's going to be no gun this time, at least for now. It's going to be interesting to see what the target selection is going to be.
Got the sniper up, almost able to find the demo man. Here's the soldier jumping forward. Hayes getting so much damage onto Virgil right now, and here's the scout. Will be able to clean it up. Zam will find the kill in exchange for his own life, and a lot of weak players on the side of GlobalClan Fire right now. They'll be back into spawn to resupply, as 2 did fall. Hayes being that second one. Skelly picked up in the shutter door. Enemy is so weak, he'll die as well. Gungan on a 6k right now, as the scout class Bulldog now looking to collapse in on all this damage. Won't find Nomi, but gets the rest. Nomi coming back onto point, but not in time. The score will be 4-1 for the Jug Dealers here with 12:30 to play. It's such a slow half. Only 1 round gone in that amount of time.
That was crazy. They thought that they took too long, so they said, oh, we'll just do sacks instead. So they sack and they kill Virgil when she's at like 95 or something with her Uber. That was absolutely insane. And this could be the last mid fight depending on how it goes. We could be reaching match point here depending on who takes it. Immediately, spam going off the side, both soldiers going fast, try to put damage out and pressure. Seems like they're trying to take the opponent's sewer, the red team is, make sure they maintain control of high ground, but blue team meeting them. Skelly bombing it immediately onto the enemy team, getting a lot of damage on the mustard. Phantom will fall. Sacrificing your soldiers for it though. Have to be careful. Virgil needs to stay alive to make sure that her team is able to be as healthy as possible. A couple of players. Ali has to duck into IT because he's not able to take an arrow and he will eventually fall. 3 players left alive inside of blue team. Just a Gungan though, so it's not too tall of a task for them to win this. Able to get Nomi on his way out, but will eventually fall to Animus. So a little bit scrappy, but ultimately a successful mid from GlobalClan Fire, taking mid and making sure that Virgil stays alive after killing Phantom for them to move on and continue to try to take 2 when they get their players.
Situation here where they really need to start capitalizing with under 12 to play. GlobalClan really need to start converting. Here's a double soldier bomb. Hayes and Bulldog just going to be sitting around their point, but now getting forward is Hayes. Is he able to pick up a frag? Looks like he might die himself. He'll crater. Bulldog goes in, picks up Animus, but will die for it and unable to get the pop out of Virgil. Mustard Overlord is so weak in rollout right now. He'll have to back off and get some heals. 2 down. No soldiers for the Jug Dealers, but it won't be much longer before we'll see the push from GlobalClan. Looking to get this gun down early is Nomi. Will be successful in doing that. Phantom, excuse me, almost at full. Uber is popped out by the side of GlobalClan. Can they find the med kill? 25 health with the Uber, just barely gets it, and now the collapse. The chase will be on as Hayes gets forward. Skelly and Atlee both falling. 3 down. No demo for the side of GlobalClan, and so close, but just no cigar.
That was extremely unfortunate execution. Not only did Nomi get dropped, but barely almost kill Phantom, but he was just able to get his Uber at the very last second. That was almost around for the side of GlobalClan Fire, but gonna have to fight a little bit harder if they want to be able to get that. And it seems like collecting Hayes and Lobby could be the opening for them to continue to drive. They have an opening to work towards 5. We have a couple players over there. Kind of weak, they'll have to be careful. The red team is rotating over to apply some spam, make sure they're not able to get through 2 free. Both scouts immediately falling, one from a heavy and another from a pipe. So once again, the trend continues. Virgil stuck in a doorway, unable to surf, and with Nomi pretty much dead, just 28 HP, escaping to mid. That is, for all intents and purposes, wiped GlobalClan Fire. Gonna have to forfeit 2 and maybe even, gonna have to forfeit mid off of those blocked off spawns. But Hayes out for blood, able to get Nomi. No, level 2 greedy, and now it's a late demo death 2. Now you're not gonna have your demo on 2 with Disadvantage. This is a crumble from last to last if I've ever seen one.
This is last to last. Yeah, 100%. I would not be surprised if we see Jug Dealer convert their 5th and final point off of this this momentum. Still with this Uber to work with, and Virgil only at 40%. They'll likely be able to build up if the Jug Dealers don't decide to go right in, but with this ad, and they know it, they are just going to pop right through 1, get in, take this side of the map away from the side of GlobalClan, and start getting point presence in. Right now is Zam beating that soldier Skelly to come to point, and now here's a look up in the sky. Hayes is there to get some good damage in, but Animus will eventually make him crater. Virgil so weak in spawn, will resupply bind, still at just under the Uber, but no one's able to touch. Jug Dealers will win this 5-1, so I guess you were right, Jarrett.
Yeah, I was almost. I did 4-2.
Oh,
you
said 5-2. Okay.
Yeah, it was close enough. But at the end, that was a valiant effort on that last defense. But I think the heavy near the end just didn't have the mobility to get towards the point to block it in time. So a good showing from GlobalClan Fire, but not quite enough to put enough rounds on the board to make it extremely point close game. So good job from the Jug Deals collecting their second casted match victory. So they're definitely going to be happy about that, especially due to the fact that, important matches to win. Got to make sure that your name is the one that teams talk about when they talk about playoff bubble teams and who's the team that's going to sneak in and potentially, upset a team and take a playoff spot. They've definitely solidified themselves as the team that you want to be looking at in the weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely eyes will be on the Jug Dealers. No one correctly predicting the score here tonight, although I know we did have some people pretty close. Shall we take a look at logs here? I'm guessing there's not going to be too much to see, but although while we're waiting, got some interviews coming in as Gungan and Mustard Overlord are here. Congrats on the win, guys.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks.
Welcome back. We saw you guys just yesterday. How's it going?
It's pretty good. It feels good to start the season strong. I know we're gonna we haven't had to play Froyo or whatever yet, but just having that momentum feels nice.
All right, so going into the season, everyone has an idea of where they think they might realistically fit on paper. You size yourself up between all the other teams. I'm sure the last two matches that you've played have been very important in regards to making sure that you establish yourself as a team that people will want to talk about when they talk about playoff bubble teams and who's in the running and stuff like that. There were performances across the board. Some a little bit closer and one a little bit more dominant. Is the season kind of going, at least for now, against your opponents, how you've kind of expected it? Has it been a little bit harder, a little bit more easier? What do you guys think so far?
I think we maybe expected that game to be a bit closer. I think we got a really good run of momentum. We had a really good warm-up scrim against the Sandblast team. We felt good. But I would say overall, it's what I expected because I felt like I saw the downsides of our team. We could get a bit frustrated when things aren't going well. But I also think we showed that when we get into a groove that we can be very dangerous. And I think the top four this season, like I said, people are probably penciling in 4 specific teams, and we're probably outside of that. And before we can start seriously challenging those teams, I want to establish us as the clear number 5, so that we can start like trying to crack the playoffs and beat some of those, and so like upset some of those teams. So I feel like we just beat two of the teams that are probably around that same range. So I feel like we have a chance now. It feels pretty good.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, I have a question for Gungan. Yesterday during the interview, Sandblast was grilling you a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, you did good, but when are you gonna really show up? When are you gonna start slamming?" But let's talk about this first half. You had a pretty monstrous first half of this game. I think you went 16-4, almost dropped 400 DPM. Can you kind of explain what you found success in the first half of this process game?
I was really just hard focusing their soldiers again, but I also I played a lot more aggressive because on Gullywash, that map, I always bait super hard in chokes because I've found that every time I run through a choke, I just blow up. So this map, I'm a lot more free to just run around and kind of DM people, and I think that was a lot of it. Also, I've been sick for the past few days, and I have not been feeling good at all. But today it was a bit better, so I felt my DM felt more on point today.
That's fair. It's fair. All right.
Alrighty.
We have Paul Dog here as well.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Jared. I don't really have any questions. That was just a fun match to watch, but go ahead, Jared.
So, Paul Dog process, sometimes it can be Scout Playground, which means it's also going to be Soldier Hell sometimes. How did you feel about the difficulty of the match in terms of, you kind of have to, fight an uphill battle sometimes? Were there any obstacles that you felt you had to overcome to make things clear and concise, or do you think in terms of your performance, it was kind of just smooth sailing, just in the server, jump map it up, etc., etc.?
The biggest thing for sure was on mids. The scouts were pretty coherent. They were playing very tight together. There was at one point where Animus and Bob literally did the same jump and same movement and were only shooting me at the same time. They're very in sync. So on mids, it's pretty difficult. You have to be really careful. The first mid, I literally bombed into both of them because I didn't know where they were or where anyone was. So then that's the Soldier Hell where I just instantly die. And there's a few times where Animus is a very aggressive scout, so you just have to watch for him. But the rest of the game,
they'll bring their A game next time.
All right, well, this is a question for all of you. I think Mustard touched on it maybe a little bit, but you got a lot of a season ahead of you, got a lot of matches to play, a lot of teams to play against. Are there any matches upcoming in the next couple weeks that you're really looking forward to that you think are the more important ones, or the ones you think might be a little bit closer that you definitely need to make sure that you come on top on?
I wouldn't say make sure we come on top on, but I think it'll be really interesting if we play, is it GlobalClan Ice, the May and Catface team? Because
Yeah.
I think they're more inconsistent than the Sandblast team, probably. By the way, Sandblast team has Seeds, and that guy is a monster. I'm just going to whine about this, but we played him in pregame, and he's like the best medic I've ever seen. That guy's nuts. But anyways, no, it's, I think we have to try to, like, catch them when we're having a good day and they're having an off day. And then I think it's possible to upset them, but they're going to be tough. But yeah, I don't know. I think starting 2-0 feels good. I think we have another fairly winnable match next week, and then another one one that's a lot harder, if I remember correctly. So
you're still flawless, Mustard, right?
Yeah. No, I lost
on demo man.
On demo man.
Right?
On demo
Yeah.
man.
That's what we like to hear.
I lost a roamer game on Snakewater against the Yosh team.
Well, I'm sure these matches definitely make up for that. But I think, Godfather, you say you don't really have too much, right?
I don't have too much. That was just a really fun match to watch, and congratulations to you guys for starting off your season strong, 2-0. Do you guys have any quick shout-outs before we wrap things up here tonight?
Shout out to Hayes and Phantom. They were too shy to come into Mumble. Phantom's a little bashful. He's a medic, maybe, you know how they are, but like they honestly played really well. Phantom played sick this game. I think he hard medic gapped. He never died. And he was hit all his arrows, so that was really good.
He's a pro.
Phantom is very good.
Shout out Amopist again. The GOAT. Let him play Soldier in advance, please.
Anything
True.
from you, Paul Dog? Any shout-outs?
I would say shout out to Phantom for sure. I mean, I mean, the whole team, of course, like Hayes did really well, Sam did good, but Phantom really kept it together tonight for sure. And he's good at like calming people down and then like keeping us all on the right page. So, I mean, he's goated.
Godfather, any shout-outs?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to you, Jarrett, and Dolphin behind the scenes for us. Shout out to all the viewers, for the players for putting on a great show. And shout out to the guys working with me on PL Mallard, making a payload map. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely want to give a shout-out to the teams that are participating. Can't cast the games with no team to watch. But otherwise, besides that, that's going to be it from us. We can go ahead and end the interview and let you guys go. It's been a fun match to watch. It's been watching me, Jarrett, as well as Godfather co-casting. Dolphin behind the scenes, thank you for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.